simulation, really, to digitalize, to steal life. It is an anti-life program. It's moving from carbon-based life to silicon-based life, to a digital twin of the world that they can control, that is disconnected from spirit and...
I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to war with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. In the bright glow of the dawn, I see myself clearly, bringing in a new day. The old way of doing things is done. I don't care what you say. Monsters don't sleep under your bed. They sleep inside your head. And if you haven't done the shadow work, you're left behind is where you stay. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the street. We gotta protect plus homeschool. Our babies is a must. They not just no moms, but also no pops. These Mola worshiping pedophiles wanna feed our children's spirits to robots. Turn all of us from carbon-based to silicone-based. Should be where the shit show stops. Get back to doing for ourselves. Water system irrigation and grow crops. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones,
I need to watch this thing.
melodies, poems, and beats.
It is dirty.
When the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. I'm saying I'm not some master teacher. No, am I some pastor or preacher? Was released from prison with this passion to speak up. After doing 25 years in the beast cuffs. Realize they tried to teach us spiritual, mental, physical diet. They tried to feed us the fire of our ancestors resides in each of us. With that, I'm inspired to turn this heat up. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to war with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets.
We're really approaching almost like it's a Frankenstein moment. And they're framing it to us as, innovation, right? We should all be so excited that this is happening. And, I equate it to like the Golem, bringing in like these robots. They would like to feed our life force to learn us in every tiny detail, not to empower us, but to actually transform us into a robotic simulation that is under their full control.
Yeah, me too. But I'm saying you had both of them too, cuz.
Nah, bro. Come on,
like 2 packs.
Nah, come on. You almost there, bro. Almost there. Survive.
I do it die for Chi-Town. Who am I but Chi-Town? You young fool, I'm too fly to just slide out. Blue sky but high ground. A crown slash helmet. So my aircraft still spit. Can't be tied down or even sheep building. I look down, I see green like a Celtic. My heat pulverizes, the cheese is melted. The remnants of cash money, I dispelled it. You did the fusions in my eyes, I beheld it. The finger fucked that caused my hand, I dealt it. Felt it vibrate from the gut of my pelvic. It bust awful for ices and veil shit. So radiant, I keep a dark room well lit. Cause you little goofies are well quick. Body for real monkey velvet. Body you not for Mars, she's a female's clip. As a kid, all I did was fight. I did the bit with a knife. I know I can spit my flows to shit. To a fly zone, haters wanna crucify a real man. I still stand with the still hand, but we're Hiller man. It's not Cypress Hill, I'm Tuttle Sheep. I'm one tough cookie, I don't follow our set standards. To catch me, you gon' have to do more to scamper. Need more to scanners, I'm off the radar. I am as your goofies play God. Some worship the Christ, others pray to Allah. Chase a high, drink paper or bruh. You stagnated while I straight evolve. At a rate, I'm dating space AC, y'all. Buster stuck in the cage, face face off. After it shaped the state, he's a fake, a fraud. Battlestar intergalactic, my mindset. Perfect comes from practice, so I rhyme best. I excel like I'm climbing a step. You got a lot to learn. I am adept, you of no concern. I am a threat. My measurement, width, lift, height, and depth. I'm just piloting up. Flying a jet, straight to adversary. Martial Chronicles like Ray Bradbury. I'm a thorough guy, goddammit. Symmetric apparel, I'm a fly bandit. Mohawk, aviators, aerodynamics. And it's like I'm an arrow in precise transit. A Christmas carol lies what your fans get. Your worlds and perils what I transmit as a transcript. Or I just spit it off the top. It's either shit or get off the pot. This shit's hot.
Wants to get his own crew. Everybody wants to get his own crew rich. And then they want the other little people never get a piece of the pie. And only go for the traffic. And go for you niggas that think that y'all big too. I understand this. That's why you niggas and crackers can't stand me. You niggas just know that I know you can't do nothing if you're broke. Listen to me, young people and old people too. Mostly black people, I'm talking to you.
So, y'all really thought that I was done with y'all? Nah, I'm really down on y'all. Fellas up. We're not going back and forth about this or that, whether your word is bond or whack. Here's a big fat, yellow, white, red, brown, black. Mau Mau, Big Mac, whether earth is round or flat. We want our shit back. Enough with the chit chat. I see through the side ops. Looking past the shot spot. Third eye gang cyclops. I don't eat pork, but I will fry cops. For foes, my heart's cold as an icebox. I'm saying die ops. From the skybox, I got scope on you pilgrims. The scope with some rules. Some of our folks are still dumb. Yeah, and blind to the fact that blood, we gon' have this real some warrior spirits inside me. That's where it's real from. The world's a stage, page after page, script is played out. They keep us engaged, placate or rage. This is played out. Rules of a dying society should have been disobeyed out. Forehead and knees off the floor should have been prayed out. The draft is on, COVID's no issue. Could've blown it in tissue. Now it's control who blows the whistle to who holds the pistols. The debacle's about who owes who the fiscal. Disregarding the aboriginal issue. We're not going back and forth about this or that, whether your word is bound or whack. Here's a big fat, yellow, white, red, brown, black. Mau Mau, Big Mac, whether earth is brown or flat. We want our shit back. A fool is known by his speech, yet if I don't speak, I suffer defeat. I'm other than we, a sucker or me. Stand on 2 feet, one turn the other cheek. The wise man known by his silence, mostly disguised compliance. Silence by guidance from conspiring connivance. Other aspirants of violence, tyrants of fire. Striding the giants to hide, I'm striding defiant. In environments of migrants, I'm hearing the sirens. Ring in my ear, they've got indictments. These pedophiles, queers, groupies, and hype men. Alignments, the assignment. I'm not the wisest, I'm not flying. My refinement and confinement, the requirements for this climate. Y'all push all the paperwork, or y'all can protest, but they can't escape this work. I vow to progress, don't duck, no wreck. Drill music for real. My soul they don't possess. Real foolish with no deal. Ain't playing with none of them. It's personal, know what the business is. Big monsters come full circle, so vacate your premises. We're not going back and forth about this or that, whether your word is bound or whack. Here's a big fat, yellow, white, red, brown, black. Mau Mau, or Big Mac, whether earth is round or flat. We want our shit back. We're not going back and forth about this or that, whether your word is bound or whack. Here's a big fat, yellow, white, red, brown, black. Mau Mau, Big Mac, whether earth is round or flat. We want our shit back. Akichiwa.
I gotta take that whole few
Shining
meal out.
symbols are for the conscious minds, y'all.
It's gonna be a banger. I know it's good.
And with that on the temple, draw. I had a vision the past night, yeah, a circulars round. Created successful reality from a virtual now. How? Stand on my square cause they usurp your power. Them saying little sneaky breezies that'll hurt you, they smile on.
I don't hear that, man. Have a low. Have a low.
This for my aunt, baby. And the elder roaster. I phoned you. This for y'all. Babalawo indoctrinated with the art of divination, power of Olalumari and Arun Mila through initiation. The ether system, ancestors spoke, said this my proper station. Words and manifestation that speak truth, my proclamation. Came to earth with my calabash. Destiny in handle, I had a blast with the bags, cash in my past life. New hourglass, time to flabbergast. Mastered the craft, subtract trash, set forces in motion. On this path to determine future evolution. After I cast, add the math. Sound of my name in the ground.
Hey, nigga Turtle, what's up, babe?
Astounds the simple soul.
What's happening, Agadoid?
Founded nimble, sacred estate, royal crown and splendor. Move from body to ether. I carry the Asha of Ifa. Unlike you proud deceivers, no one can stop me, neither. The more I sacrifice, the more powerfully I excel with my Dilagoon. Spiritual guys, cowrie shell,
Serious question.
Operation, foreplay.
I'm gonna read some stuff,
Divination is the doorway to a transformational process.
I'm gonna see what y'all know.
Garbage before day, my light is so bright it ignites the night. Shadow work, I fight right over might. Smite parasites despite the bites. Third eyesight, serving lightning strikes. Rumbling, thundering. The background, so back down. I'm grateful to issue.
Tight, family.
Rescue from an oppressive,
know,
hateful
man.
cesspool. Was a swan, born divine. Spiraling fire adorns my spine. Oh, do for those who want restore corn and do not.
That means cover all nations.
Tactical temper, respected or unturned stone. No detail neglected.
Not what these fake Zionists say.
Oracle of the original perspective. I did this in heaven
Like we
religiously.
protect our own. There's a name for that salute. Most people don't know it.
No chicken feet, father of mystery.
We used to do it in school.
Fast as I spit the tasks done. Come to pass the drum out last the gun. I don't rise from the ash, I'm the dazzling sun.
Late 60s, early 70s. Man. Then they came with that goofy over your heart. What you put over here, your heart's right here. That Masonic bull. That 30, that crap. They got people so screwed in their head. I used to be doing it, and my grandma says, put your finger like that. So I used to do it like this. You know what I mean? No, dead ass. My great grandmother, she'd be like, put your finger like that. That's oh.
Comfortable feeling that this prosperity isn't something.
Yo, this is crazy. Amazing, could care less if you approve or hate. I'm thrice blessed for justice or proves this grace. Unless you drink this, if you reading this, it's too late. Allude state can allude fate. Not just great, the greatest in the person of her room. Through the gate and wait. Breaking free of the number of years. They sons be waking me from the stupor of a slump intensity.
About to get them started. Spelling down a few names.
This quarter of a century was done, none rent free. This AM I chose to give an awareness.
Every walking in the chair, the red chair, that.
Some males don't know etiquette should be in real men. Some fail to grow and develop, still children. I'm filthy, and I'm still teachable. Unreachable altitudes above chemtrails, real feasible. Never content with settling for mediocrity. At a shopping spree would be a complete mockery. Step outside my comfort zone, loaded Moscow, a sharpshooter aiming for the impossible in a hostile domicile. You might go hostile to my dominance, obstacle to my prominence. I'm getting better, rated X. My life west the next sacred text. Who once I was read as basic sex. Amazing to check, unless if you approve or hate. Most y'all jackers, nothing but lip professors. let you reach, not what you be. Though you spit the message, pushing you off the edge of the cliff, a bit progressive, I admit. But I'm moving forward, a bit festive. My moms and pops couldn't wait to embrace me. And Sharice's heart, no mark could replace me. Encase me inmates of a space fence locked down under ionized skies. Let's be ultra wealthy, the culture healthy, of course. Truth is, we live in a wireless where the entire earth's weaponized. Authentic question, yet folks really question lies. They say I'm abnormal, I chose not to conform. Brock went to first night of spring, that was some storm. Those of the alternative lifestyle have rights now, thanks to Barack. The air's an antenna, sending mixed signal, thanks to the heart. Rampage runs rampant, thanks to the rock. Yet, all I've done dutifully was offer you some food, organic, while the oil planet's about to be off by nukes. The program rests the crest members to rest next to sex offenders and respect pretenders in these correctional centers of protective custody, where they breeding rats, blatantly committing impeding acts, giving authority to sanction policing cats. If in fact you speak against it, your speech is tax. Let me stress, I'm the avenger of the righteous. Don't want to get me stressed. The less we stress, you seeing the best view. Clear the rear of Jesus and mesh in the hugs of my nephews and dear nieces, Jensen, Camille, Heaven, Sandy, Joseph, Evan, Layla, and Marilyn. Imagine laid up in a caravan. Imagine way up in the air and staring down upon American land, while haters look at disdainfully at space faces up glaring. Could care less about politics, how sharp he spits, how hard he hits, the dark it gets. Yes, the zone I'm in, volumes of tones from raw, unneffing. Man, I'm gonna show you your titles of no significance. The so-called 5 civilized tribes, then the cry, a rifle full-blooded of the indigenous American makes me a sovereign God, man. You ought to be honoring instead of attempts of cognitive indoctrination to pause doctrine. Philosophy encased in the land of Nas Sergeant. I got the hand of God plus her inner voice. The plan of Asa versus the sinner's choice. Over 20 years since I started this journey, my target, the turnkey, I departed this with an earned degree in theology. Psychologically, these marks cops to me. Agent, provocative, ops, indeed, believe. They got your every move under lock the key, but I rock every groove like it's a hip-hop beat. Bloodline pathogens, practicing my doctor's creed. Physical examination, even proctors bleed. My luminous mind rages sharp with speed. Cut a chop, butcher's block, watch smart sleep. Policy and procedure got you operating robotically. Apostrophe between co-ops and atrocity. Dead between a hard place and a rock. Awkwardly for your apostasy, you popped an apology. It's oddly amazing, could care less if you approve or hate. Your approach to reason isn't logic to me. Your delivery is unsound philosophically, so please, you've gone too far with your hypocrisy. How they handle you, you might just well squat to pee. Check it, let me stress, I'm no longer the property of. I know hunger got that, you can't stop me, shove. Flow younger, the old wisdom of the Yah. He above, I'm more stronger. Show my sons that supreme godly love. Amazing, could care less if you approve or hate. I'm thrice blessed, the suggestions approves, it's grace.
And my music, and a lot of this music, it's only talking about the suppressed rising, the oppressed rising up against the oppressor. That's all, that's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who can have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that.
3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, meet no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, meet no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, meet no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, meet no surrender. It's time for a change, gotta bounce up. The oppressor's about to get tossed up. I'ma lay him out, execution style, too late for an apologetic claim. You wrapped in a cloak of flame, by God, it's open. Doing your time is in the end. Locked out, silent without sin. He put me on the bed, but justice to win. The oppressor's about to get rolled down. With some pressures attached in a war zone. Revolution could start in the Arizona. I'm a messenger popping like Theracone. Backed by the honorable, who sits at the pinnacle. Who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the plentiful sinful. My thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protective service. Quick to pull the Glock, blast and kill. This don't take any type of skill. I'm ill of all citizens who haven't took a stand or a kneel pills. Too late when the caps get pills. Don't believe it, GC type. Going hits close to home. You gotta act the bone, but it got the dome. When it's on the zone, all red and my vision through sight. It's killer be killed whenever I fight. From above, I've been given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. All the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' run them out, so gon' pass the kite. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender.
This world is such a and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in the ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like you talk.
They getting they walk on, man.
Everywhere, big business. You want to be successful. You want to be like Trump. Gimme. Push. Step. Crush. That's how it all is, and it's like nobody ever stopped.
We can let it finish up later. Yo, when it goes, well, hey man, everything's good. It's not stuttering. They're not messing with it because you know when the knuckleheads come in, you know that's what they do. Because I could just go out and restart it. Same, you know, everything. Let's put a 1 in there. I appreciate it. All right. I see some of them left. You know, they just want to come and hit the like. Don't come over and hit the like. Stay, watch, share it, and comment. Anyway, I got a new book. I was attempting to wait for some people to come in. That's why I waited for 5. I know it. Oh my goodness. 1 hour difference, Texas, 3 hour difference. Well, kind of Louisiana. 3 hour difference on the so-called East Coast. Okay. And right now, I'm gonna give you my weather forecast. It's 82 degrees. So it's 82 degrees. I think tonight's low is going to get around 59, 58. As far as winds go, excuse me, we're dealing with 7 mile per hour, which feels like nothing. Sunsets around 18. Well, sunsets, what they say, around 1846. Right? Excuse me, 6:46. It's usually 7 o'clock. We still got another couple of weeks or whatever. So, as far as humidity, it's about 4%. Surprisingly, where we're at. Hey, you would think it's not that, but anyway, let me go ahead and I got some notes here, and I want to read something. Let me see if it saved it. Yeah, it did. Okay, awesome. This is what we're going to be looking at. Let me make sure I put it 658, page 658. I got to put it back in this proper spot. Okay, so yeah, it stay right there. So with the North American Review, dealing with the origin of the Negro race. As you know, we are nobody's Negro. Hey, Stu, what's up, baby? Hey, Sharon, appreciate it. What's going on, guys? What's up, mama? All right, but I received a package today. I'm waiting on a couple of them. I got a book that'll be here either tomorrow or, well, Saturday or Monday. And when I show y'all this book, I know baby girl Slav is gonna be like, well, niece is gonna be like, I gotta get that book. I haven't shared it with her or nothing, so you know what I'm saying. I'm like that, so don't get all twisted. That's just the way it is. All right. Yeah, cut this up. Let's see what book I got here. Put up my letter opener. Some of you already remember when I told you when I look at the sky, I see something different. I can see the night. I don't see the blue, even though they're covering it up because they got it all sprayed up. But that doesn't even matter to me. I see in black and white, literally. So the moon, and there's a fake star that stands up there. It's very bright. It's not the star. It's not the North Star, which is fictional. But I see something. So, I got a fabulous book. Check this out. So it's a legendary lost piece of magic history. Is James Bond meets Harry Houdini by Lance Burton. I have a few books by Lance Burton. Master Magician. So the official CIA manual, Trickery and Deception, declassified by H. Keith Melton and Robert Wallace. Oh man, I can see myself sitting there like I'm watching YouTube in my rack in my cot, skimming through this. This is going to be an exceptional read. Yeah, This is going to be pretty heat. So it's no longer seated where it would have been redacted and all that stuff. It's no longer secret. I actually saw it. I was watching something on somebody shared something on TikTok. Nobody even noticed it. And I was like, wait a minute, I've seen that book before. Oh, snap. So I went over and I was like, thrift books. So I forget which one. I can't remember where I got it from. Because there's a bunch of places you get books, even overseas, colleges, whatever. And there it was. And it was more, the original one I looked at was more, but I found it for about $9 left. So, I jumped on. Anyway, I want to ask y'all a serious question. I express, it's not targeting anybody because there's a lot of people who hit me up and on that the Facebook Messenger. What is that? What's with all the animals? Because as you know, Behold the Pale Horse, that man, and a few others stated, even in the 90s, that it'll come a time when they're soothing and everybody's very docile. And this is before like the internet was really, really something. They said there'll be a time when people are sitting down and they'll be slaughtering over animals and this, that, and other. I clearly stated, for those who don't know, and I want y'all to listen, that if you look at biblical or some ancient Sumerian texts, the relationship, because they have to hide that. That's why they want to feed you. That's why you see people eating river rats in Louisiana and raccoons. Possums won't live but 3 or 4 years, and the most friendliest things. Pigs are smarter than dogs. I'm just letting y'all know. There's a subculture, a perversion, and everybody's been inundated with it. Everybody has accepted the narrative in utter ignorance. I share these things. I have a lot of videos I haven't even started uploading from the dodo, because some of you know I've worked with the SPCA and the ASPCA and volunteered. My service dog, so I got Charisma in Mount Vernon, New York, and I work with wolves. What they was called Arctic gray wolves. Arctic gray wolves. I work with gray wolves and dog hybrid wolves. While I was in the military, and like about a year or two after that, that was my place to escape. And I swam with manatees and the whole thing. And I remember so many things being stated, and yet I never dealt with that. I've always seen the better. I bird watch. I study birds, bugs. I don't like stepping on ants. It's not because I'm all powerful and I could crush them. When you look at what their God expresses, the one out of several in our true history, based on the dynamic of these fictional gods, not what we can allude to what might be possibly. I'm laying down a foundation. I share that, and I don't care about the color or this, that, and other, because we have forgotten. Now, I hate that word humanity. We are not the hue of man. We need to let that script go. We need to move as we were seen, as the predecessors of who and how and why we exist. Okay? And it is important to be able to see that with your heart. Feel it in your gut. And antiquate it in your Rolodex. To remember to walk with those which we call animals today. That's not what they're called. To move, and the insects and everything else do what is required based on the dynamic of our existence. They perverted, as y'all heard, maybe, Bill Gates in Australia, they're wanting to work with another form of releasing a mosquito. Their whole dynamic is getting rid of everybody. Frequencies, graphene, you name it, it's about killing. Yet everybody still moves in the direction of race, fake creeds and ethnicities and all this futile bull crap. All right. And there's a reason why I do what I do. I study people. I don't care who you are. I studied my family, and I removed myself from them because they sound like a bunch of damn nutcases. All right. And they, unlike my children, are very aware of how I snap back. Like, I'm not one you could talk to if you're going to come with inconsistencies and hypocrisy. I'm going to spat a few things and I'm going to call it, and that's why I remove myself, because run around in your fictional existence and I don't care. I was one time was the peacekeeper looking, why is everybody acting the way they're doing? It's a spell, okay? Well, how do you stop a god? Chaos. Well, is it possible that the Negro, that people in these last few generations want to antiquate the Negro with everybody else? I'm using that definition, that noun loosely, okay? Because it is meant to be a separation. And it always has been. I don't care about the goofy atheists. That's a religion. That's a cult mentality and all the other dumb individuals. We are not the same as anyone. First of all, inventions speak of volume. Hey, stinky bug, all right? Speak of volume. And it's not, and the ones I've read aren't even all the inventions. And people are starting to come to this truth. I'm going to read something, okay? But I'm going to read some notes after I read this as well. And the reason why you have a lot of dumb Negroes in these HBCUs who want to be African American, and by the dynamic of that fake, in Spain and Portugal, the word Negro means black. No, it did not. They keep changing stuff and making things something else. But the closest truth, but even a lie, is Ham, the progenitor of the dark races, yet not the Negro. That has been a stand win all, because it is factual. And I have more than enough information, sources and references that go back to the fake 1600s. And they had to keep it that way. There's a purpose. Why is it that millions of our people are in this fake land called Africa now? And the majority are very unaware. But there are plenty who still know this. How about the fact that when they started pushing Negro to Guinea, Negro to Terror, it was two different separate individuals, yet Negro to Guinea was based on the what you call islands with the people with the blonde hair and the gray and the blue eyes and the Caribs and all that. And the Negro, Asiatic black man, was of North America, constraint of Asia, because this was Asia what? Superior or minor? Because China was not anywhere the melanated man, as far as all four corners, was considered the Asiatic what? I asked y'all to look up the God Killer. I asked y'all to look up a number of things. The enemy say there are gods. Who defeats a god? Why was Tartary built? Why is it that we went to repair, but they could not on this soil? Why did Martin Luther and all of them express the fact that through the subculture of it, we taught them, and he wanted to collect the check in that last speech? What mountain was he talking about? The black one with the 4 islands surrounding it, with the giants and the Twa? The fact that I said there were tribes of Twa and albinos here. The delusion of the installation of white and black for division and separation. And its origin, as I expressed, did any of y'all research these black Europeans who look white, who wish they were dark skinned and had their afros, kinky, straight, whatever hair they had? How about the Aryans coming down or up? If you look at everything backwards or reverse on Hindustan. How about the fact that they were never called Indians? Because there's ones you see there now. I am asking these questions because it's imperative and it's important to know the difference. Hey, Carrie, what's up? I'm dealing with an HSBI tar. Oh, HSBC. Okay. One knows. These are important questions. I would ask y'all to come back and watch this stuff and share it. I want to go ahead and let me screen went blank. I thought I had it for 10 minutes. Now, let me show you guys the book again. All right, so I received this book today, CIA Manual of Trickery and Deception. I'm going to be head deep in there. Let's, again, let me hold it up. Okay. This right here is on the physical and mental character. Well, it's a whole plethora of books written by this individual. Again, this is JSTOR, all right. Journal article, The Origin of the Negro Race, May 1900. Okay. And I jumped down to page 658, the North American Review. And I'm going to read all that, but it's going to be the fourth and fifth paragraph, which is the end of this one page. So let me go ahead and get into that. And I want you the North American Review. Okay. So in here it says the Mahabharata, the Aryan epic written about 1500. Y'all know it'd be around 1500 would be about 4 BC, right? Will find earnest invocation to the gods against the Turanians. Okay. Seriously, the gods against the Turanians. And such allusion to their appearance as to leave no doubt of their color. The gods are implored to give the Aryans power. The gods are implored. All right, so that might be that, what's that big head dude? Cartoon character written by Dr. You know who, right? The Aryans' power over the black-skinned Dacias, the black inhabitants of Himalaya, the black inhabitants of Himalaya, and the black Kudra of the Ganja. Hindustan. We cannot dogmatize, so black people gave a bunch of light-skinned folk power. We cannot dogmatize upon the true date when the Turanian center at Akkad was pierced by the Aryan wedge. But it is natural, remember I said look up the dirt devils? Okay. But it is natural to suppose that as the Aryans were advancing from the east, the alarmed Turanians would take the direction furthest from the pressure. By the traces they left behind them, we know that some fled to Egypt and to southern Arabia. Okay? Along the shore of the Persian Gulf, and others to the Armenian mountains. The southern shore of the Black Sea toward the Caucasus on one hand, the original Caucasian, and the Bosphorus on the other, and so northward to Hyperborea, climbs in the tracks of a still earlier type of man. Long continued research by Egyptologists has fixed the age of men's at about 5000 BC, or 3000 years earlier than the Aryan descent upon India. As the consolidation of tribes into a nation will require 500 years later, we must add about that number of years to the age of men. And to find the beginning of the people who consolidated themselves into national strength, on the Asiatic continent, there are still abundant evidences of the color of early man. In the Dravidian hill tribes in eastern Assam, the Malacca Peninsula, Perak, Cochin, China, the Andaman, Sandal, and Nicobar Islands, we find from a host of authorities that it was black, and that some of the people had decidedly woolly hair, others kinky or frizzly hair, and others straight and coal black. A still earlier man may be represented by the Negrillos, the Ainus in Japan, the Esquimaux, and the Laps. Now, the Negrillos would be of Spain, Espanol, Italy, blah, blah, blah. Okay? On the African continent may be found their congeners, and totally separate. In the pure Negroes and the Pygmies. Now, Negro wasn't the term, so I actually had to research the writer. Though it is steeped in around May 1900, this is part of those four individuals rewriting history, creating the races. And we all thought it was something. It was around 1800, actually. Okay. Logan, a prolific writer upon Asiatic ethnology, appears to be convinced that early man's first home was in Africa. Convinced, not literally. As you know, that word did not exist in the 1700s. Sir W.M. Flower believed that he originated, and in the 1900s when it was solidified and called that. First home was in Africa. Okay, anyway, originated in Sir William Flower believed that he originated in southern India and spreading east and west, people Melanesia and Africa. Allen derived the African Negroes from Asia, and we know that they were not called Negroes. And Professor Seeley claimed that the Negro race occupied a belt of land extended from Africa to Melanesia, which has since been submerged. The quatrophages theory was that man theory originated in Tertiary times in northern Asia. Now, the origin of the Negro race, that the glacial period caused a great migration out of that, but that the greatest mass of primitive humanity grouped itself in the Central Asiatic highlands, when the three fundamental types, physical, because remember from 3 it became 4 or 5, physical and linguistic arose. The black race, he thought, appeared first in southern Asia, between the highlands and the sea. The earliest writers such as Herodotus, Aristotle, Pliny, and Pomponius Mela mentioned the countries which were peopled by the Asiatic blacks. Thus, at the eastern extremity of the Black Sea, Herodotus relates that he found the Colchians were black-skinned with woolly black hair, and conjectured therefrom that they were of an Egyptian race, like the people who went there, to Ashkenaz or whatever you want, the Aryans who went to Prussia and along Georgia and those so-called countries. They said this must be Egypt because that's all they found, the Abkhazarians. He found the Colchians were black-skinned with woolly black hair and conjectured therefrom that they were an Egyptian race. By inference, we learn that the Egyptians, or some of them, were of that type, black and woolly haired. But in his description of the troops under the Persian banner, he draws a distinction between the eastern and western Ethiopians. The first, he says, had straight black hair, while that of the latter was quite woolly. When the Aryans finally extended their conquest of Egypt, Hindustan, Europe, we may reasonably suppose that, however, Aryans, right, few or many of the primitive people had already started on their wanderings into unknown Africa. The shock, first segregation and forced march, just like the Trail of Fake Tears, which my great ancestors 5 times over were on. Reasonably suppose that, however, few or many of the primitive people had already started on their wanderings into unknown Africa. The shock, and it wasn't called Africa, because you got to remember, so-called by Kakalaki, which is Carolina, that was called the Ethiopian Sea. Menendez Sea, and yeah, they were changed in the 1900s. Okay. When the Aryans finally extended their conquest to Egypt, we may reasonably suppose that, however, few or many of the primitive people had already started their wanderings into unknown Africa. The shock of the Aryan advent must have then given those remaining a strong, that's implying, stronger impulse to scatter inland. It is clear from the tributes illustrated on the Theban monuments that some of these fugitives from Egypt had prospered in the African's interior, and it is just as clear from the brilliancy of their painted portraits in the tombs near Karnak, that the prisoners brought from inner Africa resembled the average brown and black woolly-haired African of today, as early as 2500 BC. Now, Sankara invaded Ophir and Punt, Somaliland, and brought much booty therefrom. In 2400 BC, they state, Osirtisin, one of the first, repeated the expedition in 1600 BC, and Thutmose III returned victorious from Punt, and in 1322 BC, the great Sesostris inscribed his exploits in Ethiopia on the monuments. Now, the Ethiopians built cities of renown and grew into a proud and conquering nation, having at an early period found that across the Red Sea their Turanian congeners were settled in southern Arabia, with whom they established a valuable trade. The ruins of Meroe, the ancient list of valuable trade, and the ruins of Meroe, the ancient capital, between Berber and Khartoum, rival those of Egypt. Got to remember, the Berbers, black race, went and defeated the so-called Moors of Spain, the original inhabitants. Their ancient capital between Berber and Khartoum rival those, y'all know what Khartoum is, right? Rival those of Egypt. And now the effect of these on Diodorus was such that he ascribed to the Ethiopians the origin of Egyptian religion and art. A prince of Ethiopia, the famous Memnon, lent aid to Troy in the 13th century before Emmanuel, or Christ. An army under Shishak of Ethiopia invaded Palestine with 1,200 chariots and 60,000 horsemen. Zara, an Ethiopian, had started to fight Asa, king of Judah. Asa, remember that name yesterday? King of Judah, with 1,000 men. Palestine. Turkhaka, there was no pale skin, no fake Jews, you see. Turkhaka, the Melech Cush, king of the Ethiopians, defeated Sennacherib. Now, Cush, Ham, Ethiopia, Egypt, Philistine, all that. Now, in the reign of Pasamithicus I, successor of Tahaka, 240,000 Egyptian soldiers, affronted by their king, immigrated to probably near the modern Sinai. Until the 7th century AD, Ethiopia experienced the ups and downs of Egypt, but at the period, the fanatic Arabs, unable to conquer the people of Abyssinia, Ethiopia, succeeded in isolating them with the rest of the African continent to the south. Isn't that North Africa? Actually, Italy and all that is. Succeeded in isolating them with the rest of the African continent to the south from the civilized world. It will thus be seen that another barrier, no less rigid and strong than the first, was raised against the African race. The severe and exclusive Egyptians, by their occupation of Egypt, had blocked the return of the primitive settlers in Africa. We already covered the fact that the American Negro is not the same when you look at the Asiatic black man. Okay? So, T. Thomas Fortune, Who Are We? African Americans, Colored People, or Negroes? Essay, 1906. What did James Baldwin say? I am not your Negro. What did Martin Luther King say in his great I Have a Dream speech? And we find the Negro languishing in the corners of his what? This individual right here, I went to look at T. Thomas Fortune. Now you need to pay attention to that name. No different from W.E.B. Du Bois and so forth. This fictional black royalty here, even when you're dealing with Prince Hall, same individuals. The betrayers, just like Jesse Jackson, they have existed every century, every millennium. Okay? Y'all can read that yourself. I am not reading his shit. I sent him 2 notes, although the people who published this, because between 1900 and 1906, there are 5 words never used, and I have a plethora of books that allude to this fact. Whether it be Negro in Africa, never used. Black on the continent here, as this continent was swarthy. Okay? The red man has nothing to do with skin, but the blood bred indicated by the French when they came here with everybody else to conquer this land that we fought them for over almost 400 years. Okay? Go my notes over here. All right. Gotta let it pop up. So, has a Negro ever been looked at or upon as a god? Which Greek gods were black? Hades, pantheon of Greek gods, is diverse. Athena is a dark-skinned black woman. Dionysus is South Asian. Hermes is East Asian. Kali or Syama, lit black. A Hindu goddess, Karupa Sami, black. Regional Hindu gods. I don't even want to start talking about the so-called American gods as far as the panther or the jaguar. Certain birds. Because when you look at Egypt, every one of their scribes, their gods, are right from here. It's there. Y'all have heard people talk about it. You can Google those animals' heads. They are from here. Another question. How do you conquer or kill a god? Because we are creators, yet we are not, yet we are one with the creators or creation. Every land discussed, whenever you read all of it, they call it her. Europe, here, it doesn't matter. Her. They have changed that. Yep, the truth, going back, it is all there. And y'all know I'm a strong factualist when it comes to take the information, research it, and see, hey, Martha Window, what's going on, beloved? And see what you find. You know what I'm saying? We got T up in here. Keeman Hot Bay, what's going on, beloved? What's cracking? I had to get y'all up in here, you know what I mean? Well, Martha, you know I had to give you, man, he's an old guard. I had to give you a wrench, beloved. I find it very important for y'all to see who you truly are and stop playing the tit for tat, us against them bullshit. Because when it comes, some of you might not be here, but there are those who will know instinctually. I have a video I'm going to put up with this doctor who tests the vaccines given to children, and in it is graphene. Yeah. This is somebody who had enough of the last 4 years, and she decided, I'm going to test this stuff, and nobody's going to stop her. She had harmed and damaged too many children. She was one of the smart doctors. Okay? And yet we still have sisters right now who are young. They go into these damn hospitals that don't cure shit. And because it's a curriculum like school. I have teachers who have been saying ever since the 70s, they stopped teaching and they've been indoctrinating. And there's hundreds of them. I was wondering when my Aunt Joe was going to say the damn thing. Huh? But you never know who. Now, Jazz and Aunt Annette, I have a plethora of my cousins who are teachers, okay? A lot. Hell, I could have probably been one. Hell no. I'd rather teach martial arts, something that can maybe protect you. But you're gods, for ye are gods. Why do they want to eradicate that? And all of a sudden they push the religion, they want to take a crap on it. The fact that people are finding out that the Pope could be the last one, as ascribed to long ago. A series of things that they must meet to get to a certain point. You know, you guys are gods and you've forgotten compassion, morals. You, as far as dealing and dealing with those who would transgress against you and your sister and brethren. I tell you, you're gods, and you would rather be man, woman, human, mankind, everything they've indoctrinated you with to lower your truth. As long as they don't allow you to see, like I said, when I look up here, the first thing that happens, I used to see a lot of floaters. Every once in a while I get one, and that's not that serious. I see black and white dots. It's almost like looking through a kaleidoscope when I look at the sky, and it's millions of them in my vision. And I have to be still and allow things to come in. I can see a star that ain't a star. Anybody else look up there, they wouldn't see it. I guarantee you. And then when it starts going dark, it'll be right where I was pointing, right in that spot. I can see it. It's not as clear as it should be, but the more I focus on it, and the one over here, they come clearer. That and so much more. The questions I ask, I think it would be not impromptu, but important for y'all to have a gander with everything that's been discussed and many different channels. I know a lot of y'all, I see some of the stuff y'all share. You're coming around, yet it's not supreme. It's tangible. It's physical. That's not it. So another question. When are y'all willing to allow yourself to believe or see other than what you see? It's a choice. I know it's hard. The calcification, things that you've been convinced to take and put in your body that is foreign. That's like they've came out with saying it's a fact. The tetanus, stepping on a rusty nail, you're not going to die. But they give you the tetanus shot. Have y'all researched that? I am not giving medical. I am saying these are things to look at. Okay? No medical advice or none of that. I am saying these are things to look at. Okay? And before you run off getting that synthetic blue shit, because Robert F. Kennedy, that traitorous bastard who his family can't stand him, and everything else, don't go popping that stuff in your mouth. I don't mind the vitamins and minerals because you know they're stripping all the food. Unless you're willing to fast just for 7 days and let your body reset by jumping your ass in cold water and suffering through that. A lot of you ain't willing to take no cold showers. I know you. You want to allow yourself to go through a little 5 to 15 to 20 minutes of cold damn water out of a 24-hour day to see. Why is that when you have pneumonia, they get cold rags and throw your ass in cold water? It resets you. Why is that when you have high blood pressure, you go in the hospital, they hit you up with the goddamn sodium, the IV? Why don't we, if you're having a heart attack and they start massaging and start chest compressions, they stick an IV in you, get your salts in you that you're missing. And then at that damn food, they make sure that most of that shit got fat in it. They always give you that butter. It ain't ghee and it ain't the best butter. It's got RSVP, but I'm just saying. Nobody ever pays attention to that. And here comes those experiments. You're gods. You don't think like gods no more. You don't move like gods no more. You argue, drama, feelings, and emotions. Ye are gods, and ye have forgotten. Well, this one's going to go ahead and eat because I'm hungry. And Tuna's calling me. For those who didn't see, I'm going to share it again. I received a book. Screenshot it if you want to get it yourself. I actually found it for about, I think, $15, $14. I forget it. I ordered it. I'm waiting on like 2 more now. But anyway. Okay. Oh yeah. So anyway, I appreciate you taking the time to listen to a fogie like me. Tea drinkers. Yeah. Little Rock, Arkansas up in the house. Yeah, more the chick window. You got a wrench in there. So if somebody come acting retarded, you old school. You know what I'm saying? He's old black belt, nah, martial art cat. All right. Real one. He has some Facebook pages too. Guns and martial. Yeah, he's got some good stuff. Anyway, what was that one? Did I shut everybody out? Oh yeah, I got you. Anyway, I hope y'all appreciate that. You can share it. Come back if you want to comment and you see something else. Okay, it's right at an hour. I want to stop it there. And again, I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna get in here and give me some tuna and some tater chips. You know, I'm gonna sit back, kick this, and put on my sleeping PJs, and I'm gonna sit back and I don't know. You know what I'm saying? All right. Somebody donated. I appreciate you. Oh, my apologies. Get this. This thing is so slow uploading, man. What the heck? I think the AI is up in here trying to be like, we ain't gonna donate you. But no, I tell her, if you come in, appreciate the donation, beloved. Appreciate it. Okay? My baby girl hit me up the other day. Okay? And Prince Tabak, same thing the other day. Okay? So I appreciate y'all. Like I said, it doesn't take a lot. It's a few dollars. I've still got a whole bunch of books I want to order, and I'm just doing because I need screws and 2x4s, and you know what I mean. So if you donate, I appreciate it. You know, because it's still there. I haven't transferred. It's, you know what I'm saying. I get the amount that I can say, okay, let me go and get like $300 worth of supply. I can order 3 books, then I'll do that. You know what I mean. But I appreciate you guys. Like I said, I'm about something, I think, right? And I will be going live on members. If you're not a member, I would advise you to become one, and I will start reading over there. All right? I am. Over here, I'll come on every once in a while and suggest questions. If I do the StreamYard, and you know what I'm saying? I like mine to go to screws. Yes, Miss Carrie Beak, it absolutely will. Yes, ma'am. Hey, Wavy, appreciate all of you. I do. All right. So my beloved sisters and my brothers, remember, start moving how you should. Not as your enemy has decided upon.